In this segment, we're going to talk about the partnerships. Now, partnerships have been around for as long as the country's been around. The classic is what's called a general partnership. That's where a couple of people get together, a group gets together and says, hey, we're going to build this building together. Great. We'll all chip in this money. We'll put together an operating agreement, and this is how we'll throw this money together. We'll build this building, and we'll all share the rent proportionally, or I'll be at 10%, you'll be 20%, she'll be 50%. However we divide it up. So you've got a lot of flexibility in a partnership. Now the partnership will also typically they get a separate tax ID number from the IRS, and usually the income is tax income if it's earned. If it's earned income, it's going to be taxed subject to self-employment tax. Now, if it's rent, and we'll talk more about that in another segment, passive versus active income. But if it's active income, in other words, you're running a business, you start a restaurant together as a partnership, which I would highly not recommend for liability purposes, right? And that's the big drawback of partnerships, why they're not very common any longer, because the LLCs, the limited liability corporations, have come along and really have kind of filled a niche there that didn't exist prior to it. So general partnerships, again, the income is not taxed at the partnership level. It's all taxed at unless you elected to. You can take some unusual elections and say, we want to tax at the partnership level, but usually that's not the case. Usually, almost always it's passed through to the owners. They'll get a Schedule K1. Each owner has their own schedule, and then they go and put that on their 1040s and say, okay, my partnership made money, my partnership lost money. Now, that's kind of an overview of the general partnership, and then that morphed into the LLCs, which formed in the late 80s, early 1990s, and we'll talk about that in the next video.